Hey there, I'm Steve,
And I'm Jen.
and we are The Road Less Traveled. And today we are going to give you a tour of our 2020 Grand Design Reflection fifth wheel.
31 MB.
31 MB is the model.
After the tour, then we're going to give you a few updates on our RV repairs as well as tell you why we chose this rig. Let's get to it.
Very good.
All right, so we're going to skip the outside tour because I always find this pretty boring, and we're going to go straight inside. Let's go. One thing before we get inside, though, our screen has seen some better days. We've got to actually work to replace this. The kids are pretty hard on this, and yes, it's not very sturdy, so that needs to be replaced. All right, come on in. We will start in the kitchen. And this is the main kitchen area. I'm trying to think of what to show you first. We'll go ahead to our fridge since it's been such a topic of conversation with us. The refrigerator. It is empty right now because we just got it replaced. Actually, the dashboard or the control board was just replaced. And so there's nothing in it right now. This is what it looks like though. And the refrigerator space is pretty good. I always buy too much at the grocery store, end up having way too many things, especially for the freezer. The freezer, like if you put a pack of Eggo waffles in there, it packs, like it uses a lot of space. So there is the fridge. Pretty adequate space, wouldn't you say, Steve?
I think so, yeah.
All right, so that is, there you go. Come over here, and then you've got the microwave and stove right there. I use this all the time. So people talk about not using their stoves and their ovens, and I use it all the time. We've got 3 burners here. So use that all the time. I'd have to say that storage in the kitchen is pretty adequate. It's pretty impressive. We've got a big drawer here with pots and pans, and then we've got 3 drawers right here that has other utensils are in here, and then more kind of Tupperware, toaster, those type of things, kettle, and then some other drawers right here for like what is that? Aluminum foil and stuff. And then we've got really good storage space under here as well. So this is where the Berkey goes whenever we are on a travel day. It looks bad right now, but hey, we told you that. No, we didn't tell you from the beginning. We haven't been living in this for the past month. It's been in the dealership and getting repaired. So it needs to be cleaned up a little bit. This is our sink. Why is this not closing? All right, for some reason this isn't closing. Okay, now it is. The sink right here, large sink. There are covers that go over this, but we rarely cover it because let's be honest, there's usually some dishes in there. So good sink. One thing that is interesting about our rig, and I don't know if you have a rig, if you have this problem, when we wash dishes, water goes all down the floor. So it'll kind of pile up here. I guess we're aggressive dishwashers and get on the floor. So we have to be careful it doesn't get in the kids' room. Let's see. We put our Berkey here. We have our key right here. This is the fireplace. Do we have a little ambiance there? I love this fireplace. It's really, especially when we have a really cold morning, we just put it on and it helps really heat the space. So I'll keep that on for the ambiance.
And by fireplace, you mean electric heater that looks like fire.
Exactly. It's not a real fireplace. No. All right. So we're also going to tell you about some of the things we don't like. You may notice some of our cabinets are really messed up right here. Like this is a 2020, so we have only been living in it for about 6 months. It's a new rig to us. Part of it is because we put the Berkey right here and it drips down, but we're gonna paint this because it doesn't look good. Dishes up here, and sometimes the closing them. This is again a little unorganized. We got to do some work here. But you have to make sure on travel day that they're actually closed because it's easy for these not to latch and you actually have to push it up and down. TV is right here. And this is one of the things that we think we actually may renovate. So it's on an arm back here. And we don't watch that much TV, but even when we watch TV and I'm cooking right here, it's really loud. And then we lose all this counter space. So we're thinking of actually taking the TV out because we have no wall space. I have this little square over here for things that I need. Like when we get to a campsite and we put the map up, or we just say where our next stop is. But we are thinking about taking this out because I'd love to move the Berkey down here or move the Keurig and just give us more counter space. On to the dinette. Now the dinette, what shall we say about this, Steve? This is our dinette, and we've realized when we were looking at it how dirty we've gotten it. You may notice a theme; it's a little dirty. They did fix the table, but what we're gonna do is take this table out. It can be really awkward for the kids to get in and out of the booth, and these seats just aren't that comfortable because what you're doing is you're on plywood right there, and so after you sit and you start working, your butt starts hurting. And then the storage down there. Storage up there as well. We've got that completely full. So I'd say like in the kitchen, the space is really adequate. I was impressed with it. On to these are the little recliners. And you will notice, Steve, let's see. Let's get you to pop in one so you can model it for everyone.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at that. And show them these little control buttons that tend to cause us a lot of problems.
So we've got the seat heater, which Haley loves to just randomly push all the time. Mm-hmm. So you sit your butt in here in the middle of the summer and it's burning up.
You're like, why is my butt so hot?
We've got this blue light, which serves no purpose except for, I guess it's a little bit fancy. I don't know.
Blinding us blinding the kids when we're going to bed.
And then we've got the vibration, which I guess is fine. I don't have a problem with the vibration.
It's nice. Nice little massage chair.
That's it.
All right. Do you want to take us through this next part, or you want me to keep going?
I can take us through the bunk house, sure.
Hold on, we got a few more things in here. Okay, let's
Can we look at the pantry?
No, we haven't looked at the pantry. So let's talk about how nice this pantry is. Whoa, looks like a mess.
Needs a little cleanup, but it's adequate space. It's a little awkward because things are kind of deep back in there. So if you want to get something way back here, it's a bit of a reach. But besides that, I think it's pretty good space.
I think it's a great space. I mean, I'm impressed with it. We still run out of... There's like baking stuff down there, a Vitamix. And this is usually pretty full. We have still yet to tame our spices. We'll get to that. But the pantry, I think, is really good. One thing, too, that is missing in the rig is anywhere to have anything long. So we invested in this bad boy, this Dyson, and it has been awesome. We love it because the other stuff we had was not getting anything up.
What's the model?
And
It's the V8 Absolute, Dyson V8 Absolute.
yeah, and we have nowhere to put it. This is the storage we have right here, and it ends up being a total pain. Mm-hmm. So if you have a great solution, let us know. But there was actually nothing long enough. There's nowhere long enough to store that. So we've just kind of thrown it there. We could throw it behind there, but that makes it even harder. So I'd have to say pros and cons of the kitchen. Pretty good space. Like I think it can fit everything we need, food-wise and storage-wise for pots and pans and such. Downsides, there's no wall space, which may not matter to you, but you can't hang anything beyond that little board over there. The TV is taking up a ton of wall space, and then the dinette it's just clunky. So we are going to do some work to make that better. Because to me that's been painful. Not so much Steve, but for me. So I'd say the kitchen's pretty good.
All right, so I'm going to show you the bunk house. Come on in. Seems like your pretty basic bunkhouse. We've got the double bed on the bottom, and we've got the single up top. Ben sleeps on the top. Haley sleeps on the bottom. There's some storage down here, some drawers, and then if we look over here, we've got More drawers. We have a counter here for junk.
Lots of junk. We took junk out, and there's still
it's
junk.
pretty bad in here. And then we've got these up here, which the disadvantage to these being up here is, well, the kids can't actually reach them. So if they need anything in there, they need to call us to come in and get it.
So this bunkhouse is really nice. I like how it closed. They got both doors that close, a little barn house door. I like how it has, the kids have, like, this is Ben's space right here. And so Ben can easily get his clothes. And then Haley, who's almost 4, can get her clothes down there. And so they can be self-sufficient. Like Steve said, this is ridiculous. Look how high these things are. So it pretty much serves as storage and sheets. So we put their sheets here. So we make their beds. But, yeah. A great counter for storing junk. But overall, it's a nice bunkhouse.
All right, let's show them the rest.
All right. This is where Stilton likes to lay, right here. He's not there right now.
Just to show you, she went upstairs.
All right. Yeah. Control panel.
Control panel.
Nothing too exciting. Let's see. The bathroom. Let me get, okay. So here's the bathroom. The shower is pretty adequate. So if we were, it's pretty decent. You probably can't see, but we've got command strip hooks here to hang our towels, and the kids hang their towels in their room. So that's what we did with our towels. We have this, we haven't used it yet, but it is a soap dispenser, so we don't have to have a bunch of stuff right here. I will say, these things are awesome. We can put a link maybe below, but these things, like, you can put your razors right here. You can hang a loofah. You can hang your washcloths. It is. I just bought 2 more of these to install. It's fantastic. So shower's good. Storage is awesome in here. We have tons of storage. I don't know what's in here. It may be scary. We've got stuff, and we've got 2 of these. So we got plenty of storage again in that bath. Again, there's pros and cons to everything. So the con here is that the towel bar is over the toilet. And that's just gross. I don't want my towel getting near a toilet. So we don't even use this thing. And instead, we just use the command strip hooks. And then we have to store towels elsewhere because there's nowhere else to put them. We did add an extra shower ring with real screws because I needed my special towel that no one was touching. So I'd say bathroom, got tons of storage here. I think the bathroom is really good except for that little towel bar problem. What I think's a problem. But we make it work, right? You're never going to find a perfect rig. All right, on to the bedroom.
Yeah.
All right. Steve and I's bedroom. And this is it. I have nowhere to go. We've got... That's where we keep our towels and our sheets for our room. So all of our towels go back here. All of our sheets. See, that's Steve's. We have this little thing right here, that little drawer that I can open, but then it's going to be awkward to get there. That we keep like books and Kindles and stuff. A little sconce light, which is really nice. This kind of makes us, this bedroom makes us feel like we're back home because we each have our own little end tables and our own little lights. Our closet. So why we have so much room in the kids' room and not much in the master, I have no idea. But this is what we have. If you want to come check it out, it's kind of, and that's not with all our clothes there. So we've got that. We've got some of these things that have like extra organization in them. And then Steve is so nice. He lets me have these 2 drawers, and he gets the very bottom drawer, which is where the reset button is, right?
For the slides.
Yeah, so if you want to reset the slides, you have to get down on the floor, pull out the drawer, and reset them. We've had to do that a time or 2. So, let's show them the storage underneath. Again, I don't know what's in here, but this thing right here, I can't wait to get rid of. This is a cushion for the dining room table in case we have any guests come over. We've had 1 person sleep in our rig other than our family the entire time. So look how much space it takes up. So just to be clear, our dining room table goes down all the way, and then you can put that cushion so someone could actually have an extra bed. But this rig doesn't have any storage space for that extra cushion, so then you're stuck storing it. And that's where it ended up. But still, once we get rid of that, we'll have a ton of storage down here. I'd say the only pain point for the bedroom, for me, is dirty laundry. There's no place to have a dirty laundry hamper. So I was keeping mine here in the corner, and then I would have to basically trip every time I'd go to the bathroom once I was in the room. Steve keeps his. You keep yours in there, right?
Yeah, it works out really well.
Yeah, I don't do that. So still have to find a good place for laundry. But overall, the bedroom, we did end up getting a new queen mattress. Everyone says that because the mattresses that come with your rig are uncomfortable. And we did it for a while, and then we decided that's just not worth it. Let's just upgrade, and then we got a new queen mattress. And it's been working out. So, there's a bedroom. All right, we're going to tell you why we picked this particular model, the 31MB, the Grand Design Reflection.
Am I telling them?
Sure.
All right, so I'll get us started, and you can chime in. So when we were at the North Carolina RV show, probably about a year or so before we ended up purchasing it, and actually where we got the initial idea to full-time RV, we sat in this exact model.
And they had,
except it wasn't exact though, was it? Was it 2020? It was 2019.
I think it was a 2020, and they had the fireplace going, the electric heater, as Steve calls it, because that's what it is. They had the ambiance. They had those annoying lights we pointed out. And
but it seemed cool at the RV show. I was like, oh, those fancy lights.
I know, it did. And we liked it. I mean, we liked it. And that's when I was like, okay, I could live in this. Because I think when people first think you're going to live in an RV or you're live in a trailer, then they don't understand that it's pretty nice, right? It's small, but it's pretty nice. And we needed a bunk for the kids. We wanted them to have a separate room. Right. That was important.
That was important.
We did debate between another model that had the bunk house in the back and had an extra bathroom. But would that require a dually?
I don't think it would have required a dually, but it was heavier.
So we just didn't go that way. We found that this was the best because our kids still get a little bit scared at night. And so we wanted to be close to them, but not too close to them, right?
I think the main reason that I wanted to go with the mid bunk is because I really love natural light. With the dinette being in the back here instead of the bunk house, we have a lot more light coming in, which I really love. And actually on the Grand Design website,
I should see this.
On the Grand Design website, there's a picture of the dinette, and of course they have this beautiful landscape in the back, and I'm like, I want that.
Right, I forgot all about that. Yeah, really into natural. We both like natural light, but that was that was why Steve really was gravitated toward this model, and it works for us. I'd say there's a few things that I pointed out in the tour that don't work for us, but like I said, you're never going to find a perfect RV. There's always gonna be something a little wonky with it that you can end up fixing or just dealing with. Do you want to talk about why we chose a fifth wheel over a travel trailer?
Yes. So. Well, first of all, should we talk about why we chose a towable instead of a motorhome?
Sure.
I will briefly discuss that. So, after we left the RV show and before we actually ended up buying it, I did a lot of research to really try to figure out which one was going to be the best for us. So, the first thing I needed to figure out was, do we want to go with a motorhome or do we want to go with a towable? And I ended up choosing a towable because it just felt like with the research that I did that I wasn't comfortable putting my kids in their car seats, well, Haley in her car seat and Ben in his booster, in the seats that are in the motorhome. From what I could gather is that the only seats that are considered to be, crash test safe are the front two seats. So that means there are no back seats like in a traditional vehicle. So after I looked at that, I kind of decided towable is going to be the best choice. And also in hindsight, just looking at the economics of it, they seem like the motorhomes are a lot more expensive, and especially if you want to have a motorhome plus a car to tow behind you, because really it makes sense to have a car when you're out in your destinations. So whether it being the truck that tows the rig or being they call it a toad that gets towed behind the motorhome, you're going to need both of those. So when we looked at the economics of everything, it really makes sense anyway from our perspective to have a towable.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine spending over $100,000 on a rig and then still needing a car. Because at the point we had like one minivan and we weren't going to tow that. So it just made sense. The fifth wheel made sense for us.
So I guess we should now talk about the difference between fifth wheels and travel trailers. We didn't look that much in depth into travel trailers. One thing is, being rookies at towing anything, we were a little bit nervous. And I read online that fifth wheels are a lot easier to tow. You have a lot less sway to deal with. And we found that to be true. It seems like a breeze to tow. There's no problems at all with towing. We've heard travel trailers are generally a little more difficult to tow. So we went in to get that. Now, the disadvantage to a fifth wheel is that you need a bigger truck, because a lot of the weight of the rig actually ends up in the truck. So you need to shell out a little more money for getting a truck that will handle that extra weight. A travel trailer, while some of that weight does go on your truck, it's not as much as the fifth wheel.
Yeah, and this man researched some stuff. I mean, especially when it came to buying our truck, and started reading about the death wobble and was really concerned about what kind of truck we got, and then having that issue. So it just felt like that was right. And I would say that the fifth wheel is pretty easy to drive, or tow, I guess. But I've never done any backing up or anything like that in it. I just drive it. So to me, it's been fairly easy, I guess to say. But fifth wheels, this has worked for us. There are times that we look at other rigs and we're like, oh, I wish I had that. Or you see a toy hauler and like, it'd be great to have like office space. But then you lose the bunk. We need the kids to have their space, even if it's a tiny space.
And really, most of the toy haulers, at least the ones that are, we would consider space-wise, are going to be longer and therefore heavier, and therefore we would need a dually truck, which we do not want to have.
Yes, especially me. And I don't think we mentioned that this is 36 feet. So to me, it's a good size. There are some things like with Boondockers Welcome that don't go above 30 feet. So there's been a little limitation, but overall we haven't really felt limited by the size at all.
We might get a bigger rig in the future that requires a dually. Maybe not. I don't know. Jen's really against the dually.
Our truck is giant. I mean, it's a giant truck, and it's taken me a while just to drive that thing around town, and it's fine. I'm okay with it now. Parking's still a challenge, but to add some extra wheels, I'm just not ready for all that. It's not to that stage yet. I think if we make a few modifications to this one, which we'll talk about in a future video, I think it'll be perfect. I will say that once you start looking at Instagram, or really Instagram, I blame that you see a lot of renovations that are just beautiful. And so one of the things that I never noticed when we got into the rig and we were at the RV show is like how brown it is. Everything's brown. Grand Design luckily put some white countertops, which are really nice. But it'd be nice to spruce it up with some color.
Gives you something to do. You can be creative.
Yeah, I have nothing else
Fun.
to do. But so, anything else you want to add about the rigs? I want to give them a few updates.
I think that's it for the rig. I'd say the updates for the regulars would be the next place to go. Right.
So before I go to the updates, let us know maybe in the comments what you love about your rig and what you hate about your rig. I'd love to hear kind of how other folks are dealing with the advantages and disadvantages. All right, so for our regular viewers, thank you for making it to this point. I want to give you just a few slight updates. So we got our rig from the shop 2 days ago. It has been there for a month and a half. They actually, the day we picked it up, they fixed the fridge, except for the handle. So that is working, which is lovely. And they think they have a solution for the slide. We're waiting. They're going to submit it to warranty on Monday to see if the warranty will take care of it. A little refresher, they originally saying it was some kind of damage to the slide to where that was the problem. And Grand Design's like, no, that's not the problem. So I'm really glad they didn't fix that, because that's maybe not the problem. So that is happening. We got our roof taken care of. I have to say Progressive is really, really solid during the whole process.
We've got the insurance part taken care of.
Yeah.
It still needs to actually be taken care of.
But I do want to give a shout out to Progressive.
Progressive has done they were really quick. They didn't give us any problems. So I have nothing but good things at this point to say about Progressive.
Right, so we couldn't say yay or nay about them when we picked them, because unless you use them, you have no idea. So we still have to get the roof fixed, and we're waiting on the slide. But right now, it feels so good to have our rig back. It feels like we just got it cleaned up a little bit today, but we've got some work to do on it. But those are the updates from us.
So if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already subscribed, you can hit the subscribe button. And if you have anything to add to the conversation, please comment below.